Penn State makes its way to Annapolis for a quarterfinal tilt against the two-time defending national champions, Notre Dame Fighting Irish. The Irish are the seat of imperial power in college lacrosse. They've won the last two titles and seeking the first three-peat in the sport since Princeton in the late 1990s.
You know, the energy going into the Notre Dame game was super high. We were just excited to get through round one. I think, you know, the first round of the playoffs is always really challenging. We played and beat a really good Colgate team, which I think really allowed us to gain some momentum, gain some confidence, have to come from behind, all which created just, you know, at that point, just great layers of success in preparation for game two. We were going down to a stadium that we were comfortable with. We had played down at Marine Corps Stadium, you know, a couple years ago in the same format in the quarterfinals.
Just the group of guys in that bus ride going to Memorial Stadium, getting to play a back-to-back defending champs. The energy was insane, and we were so ready and couldn't be more prepared.
There was a level of excitement and comfortability with that, but we also knew that we were playing against a really good opponent in Notre Dame. But we certainly just wanted to figure out if we belonged and, you know, what we needed to do as the game went on to see if we could get over the hump and get back to the Final Four.
And Penn State able to win the opening draw. The Nittany Lions will go to work on offense. Here comes Trainer, right hand free. Penn State strikes first. Working on Reinhardt. Trainer fires, Richard Deli the save, rebound loose, and the finish by Hunter Aquino.
Yeah, I think going into the first time out and, you know, kind of the sentiment through the first quarter, you know, was excitement. We were kind of where we wanted to be.
Going to that timeout, I felt amazing. We're 2-0 against Notre Dame. Like, life was good. Still a lot of lacrosse to be played, but I mean, even though it was 3 minutes of the game, I felt like we had them.
Skip pass by Harris, and the Irish are on the board. Seymour down the alley, ties the game at 2. It's McLean over to Kavanaugh, kiss the stone.
You know, after the timeout, we certainly didn't respond as well as we had hoped. In the latter part of that first half, Notre Dame goes on a run, and we had talked to our guys throughout the course of the week just to try to create a mental preparation aside from the physical preparation that was necessary about the capabilities of a Notre Dame.
Penn State tied this game with 13:45 to go in the second quarter, then did not score. The Irish closed the half on a 5-0 run. This was a two-time defending champion that after a sleepy start decided to flex.
Yeah, the mood in the locker room, I'll be honest, some heads were down. We weren't talking to each other, we were getting mad at each other, but captains pulled us together, coaches came in and said, if we want to win this game, we got to do it one by one with each other.
All those little things right now we're not doing right now. We're not doing guys just standing staring, wanting the ball, instead of dodging hard, giving him space, and once you've got 3 or 4 seconds like we talked about all week, you get the ball out of your stance.
As we went into the second half, the message was just, we got to chip away.
And Notre Dame has been a second half team most of this season, so what is the comeback cocktail for Penn State?
Yeah, I thought when we came out in the second half, I thought our guys were playing to the directive.
Coach T always says that, like, if we want to win games, we're going to have to rely on our seniors. And that's what we did. Like, Matt Trainer, like, it was unbelievable just being on the field and just watching him just take over.
Long has one of the 3. Great feed inside to Matt Trainer. So that's Matt Trainer. He says, hang on. Penn State not going away without a fight. Trainer circling the cage, and he scores! An acrobatic goal by Matt Trainer. A little alchemy against the Golden Domers.
I think he provided a good boost of confidence early in that third quarter. The quarter didn't, you know, end as well as we would have liked with some things going on.
No face-off, and they cash in quickly. Devin McLean Makes it 11-6 Notre Dame with 6:53 to go. Just when it seemed like Penn State has seized the momentum, the Irish come back, and that extra man could prove costly here.
I think it was important for us to just continue to keep stressing consistency, and that we didn't want to be rattled or ebb and flow emotionally. And we knew that some of the stuff that we were doing was putting ourselves in a difficult position, and that if we cleaned up maybe a little bit of the discipline in the way that we were playing, we were starting to make plays at both ends to put ourselves in a much more advantageous position. And it really helped the momentum as we went into the fourth quarter.
Lehman gets a step, fires on the run. Lehman bounce shot. Yes, and it sneaks through. The bench erupting for Penn State.
We just kept going 5, 4, and I was like, wow, we got a chance. Boom, back to 2. Wow, we can really do this. And then we just kept firing.
Trainer bayonets through the defense, scores! The Nittany Lions, 6 unanswered to make time in this game at 12. Trainer's got 5, looking for one more. Trainer snakes in. Penn State has taken the lead. The Nittany Lions take down the king of the jungle. Notre Dame goes down. Penn State moves on.
Just like we drew it up. Kurt, I'm so proud. Heading to Boston.
Final horn went off, and we were able to embrace as a coaching staff and to bring our guys in at the end. Everything just kind of comes into perspective in terms of why you started this journey back in August. You know, I think the fact that it was the largest comeback that we've ever been a part of, I hope, is symbolic of the identity itself. I've always said I would love for anyone who comes to watch a Penn State game, either here at Panzer Stadium or on TV, to say 2 things. 1, man, that team cares an awful lot about each other. And 2, they work really hard. And I think, if nothing else, I think that came to fruition on that particular day, where the guys never stopped believing in one another, and they cared an awful lot about who they were and who they were representing. And they just never stopped working. They worked their tails off. So hopefully the identity of Penn State Lacrosse continues to be born through that experience, not just on that day, but the days prior and the days after, because of the experience that we went through.